All right, guys, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. Let's dive right in. This is dedicated to Shiori. He has some great questions about sidereal time, and we're going to relate it to Bitcoin on the September 11th bottom and carry it forward to the present time, looking for the bottoms and the next buys. I hope you really enjoy this. I'm Roland Attenborough, if you're new here, and I'm the leading GAN scientific and analytical researcher. Thank you to all my viewers and subscribers, and let's just dive right in. Okay, so this is our current and most recent low for our channel at this epic level of 24.8 on the square here. But right now we're going to be talking about sidereal time and where it was inside the ephemeris. So let's just take a real quick look at that so we can just talk about that. So when we made our low in September, I'm just going to make that a little bigger because I keep forgetting it's really small if you're looking at it on a phone. Okay, so that area there is where we made a low, and the sun was at the 18th degree of Virgo, and that represents right there, okay? And that's September 11th. So let's go take a look at that. We're going to also take a look at the other months as we move forward, and the reason I told you to buy on the 6th to the 16th, and I bought on the 15th. And we're going to go through all of this. So, and we're also going to take a look at the sun scales and how we can find out where that low is going to be using the sun scales and whatnot, and why it's so it's so good to look at these, and how price can be ahead of time or behind. So we'll look at that. I've also made a mean of 5 and a cycle of 8 for that date too. It's fairly relative. So take a look at that. All right. So first, we're going to. So right here, this point right here where the sun is, this represents our September 11th low right here. Okay. This is our kickoff basically. Now I got worried and I got knocked out just in that trade, but I re-entered on the 15th here, this day right here at 27,200. I'm currently still in that trade, obviously. So what's so significant about that? Well, where can we find the next buying areas where we could expect a bottom? Okay, so in sidereal time, if we look at that, I think I might have had my astro chart here somewhere, but I think I might have got rid of it. You know what? I think I did. Pretty sure I did. No, here it is. Okay, so September 23. Okay, is our ephemeris for. So we were at 23.19. That was kind of our low there. Oh, we could say 23.15. I wrote 23.15 on this piece of paper for sidereal time, and we're going to go through how to work through that and add it all up. But first I wanted to give you a representation on the square where it's easier than having to add all these numbers up in these sequences, because I did that in a previous tutorial last year for Shiori, and we went through all of these time sequences, as you can see up to here, and then of course we ended off in December and October in these two sidereal counts here, right? So feel free to pause that and look at that, because this is our work from last year doing the sidereal sequences from lows, right? One from the 22nd and one from the 10th on those main lows, right? Okay, so And that's what happened. We had all these time events happen, and I was expecting something to happen in this October, which it did, right? Okay. So adding up sidereal time, you can never go above, in these two columns, this is 60 seconds, this is minutes, and this is hours. And we only go up to 23 hours because we go back to 00, because for 1 year, as you can see on here, this is 0 and 24, and it never changes. Sidereal time is always the same. So anyways, we're going to just look at now our next sidereal time. And this is saying that it's 34 days, which is October 15th, which is our last low. And we're just going to go take a look at that, right? So that's our sidereal time there. And now we're just going to flip back here. And it doesn't want to populate. Here we go. So this low here, so this is what we're just talking about now. And 34 days later, as you know, if we, so this is about 30, it's about 34 days, okay? So you could say anywhere from around this 31st day to this 34, we could expect our next sequence of buying bottoms in sidereal time. And we're just going to add 34 days instead of adding 4 minutes a day and then adding up all these times on here because it can be confusing. So I made this tool so that we could do this quickly. So let's go do this. And it's a great question from Shiori. These are the questions I had when I started out, that's for sure. Okay, so I set the scale here. This is September 11th right here. And this is where the sun was when we made our bottom. That's 0. So our sidereal time, I don't know if you can see these black dots here, but I'm going to make this as big as I can here because we're going to go take a look at these points in time and we're going to move around and we're going to note how to find them quick. So our first point would be, our next low would be October 15th. So from there, we've obviously said, yeah, it's our next low. So we're going to keep going through our sequence and find the next sequence of lows, adding 34 degrees to each last date. So I've made little black dots going around. They're pretty hard to see, but we're going to go through it really slowly. All right. I hope you really like this. This is where it gets really freaking exciting. This is what I love about esoteric knowledge. Okay. We're going to move the scale now from there. We just move it up to our next date, right? Because this is our October 15th. This is this day. So we're going to move out now in time. And now the calculator, this thing is going to tell us where all these points are going to be now. And we don't have to add up anything now because we know now our next date is going to be right here. Oh, and that's saying, well, right around the November 18th period, 17th, 18th, we could expect another swing where we should maybe look at buying. Well, let's go have a look. That says, right? It says November 17th, right around there. Let's go have a look around the 17th, 16th. Oh, whoa, right there. That's kind of our last buying low. Let's go have a look at this. It's right here, right? So it represents these days right here. You should buy. Okay, so let's not get excited. This is just our first or second movement. Let's carry on. This is where knowledge is really going to be found. So this is our date from where we are. We're going to move our scale. Okay, we're not having to add our sidereal time. We've made it. We already know it's 34 degrees is that many days, as I showed you. Okay, so this one says now our next point where we could expect, to have a pretty good pullback or to buy or look for a buy. Okay, so this is saying November around the 21st, 22nd. Or sorry, December. Sorry, it's saying December right here. I'm so sorry. December 22nd. Okay, so let's go find that. It's getting really exciting here. So we're looking for December 22nd. I wonder where all that is. Right here. Look at all this. These are your areas, and it's actually started on the 18th here, right? Which would have been just kind of back right about here. So really close. So this is your buying area again, right? And it's in line with our last one. Let's just move ahead now from this area here, right? This is our 22nd here. Now we're going to move to our next sequence, okay? Okay, so our next date now would line up right here. And that would be, oh, it looks like January 22nd. Let's go take a look at January 22nd and see if it should have been a buy around there. Oh, yeah, right. Right. Okay, let's not get too excited. Let's carry on. We're going to keep work, and we're going to work into the future a few plays right now too, so that you guys get some esoteric knowledge and look for some areas and back test what I'm saying, because this is the knowledge that you need. Okay, next sequence. Let's go. I'm going to move it over. Hopefully we're in the, just going to move this into the viewpoint better. Okay, so our next sequence now, guys. All right. After our 23rd, we move to our, that's right, 34. Sorry, I got kind of behind there. Okay, our next one is saying February 24th. Let's go have a look. It's probably a higher bottom this 24th. It certainly is. Look at this. It's right there. Holy frick. Right? This is how sharp this tool is, right? We went from here to our next sequence. Okay, so let's go start looking into the future at our next two couple sequences, and then you can hold me to it if they're going to continue to be higher highs or higher lows, or if they're going to be our breakback lows. Let's go have a look, because we're starting to make it over the 180-degree period here from our low. Anyways, let's just go take a look here from our next sequence now. I'm just going to bring this in here. So we said it was February here, right? Right here. It's February 25th. So we're just going to move this now over. We're going to line it up 34 degrees later. And bingo. Our next one, right here, it's saying from here is right here. So that's our low. There's our black dot lining it up. So it's March 31st right here, March 29th. Okay? So this is into the future, guys. This is stating now. So we need to be higher than this low here to continue on our sequence up. A breaking of this would indicate we are weakening and we're in for some more volatility and possibly back to here. So let's take a look. So the 29th coming into view would be this area here of the chart. All right, so mark that on your calendar. Around this date, we'll have a higher low or a lower low or a substantially higher low. We'll see, right? I think the 22nd will have a little pump up, and then April 14th will probably move up to the sequence and have a bit of a pullback. But let's just carry on with our sidereal time. So our next sequence after this period here, we would be looking for 34 again. So let's just move our tool to the next sequence. And the next one would arrive, and it's saying here around the early part of May 3rd. Sorry, I'm going to bring that into view here. Right here. It's in this May 3rd. This is where our black dot is lining up with our next. So right at the end of April, this May, 3rd, could have some a pullback, some volatility. Could be sitting back on this point here on the scale, right? We could be back to 69. We could just have a whipsaw up, because I think by April 14th, we're going to be at 105. We're going to do another 360 whip. We've been doing these sequences here on this square 9, right? It's, right, we blasted through 40, sat on all that, and moved all our way up. And 53 has been our big point here. These areas right in here, we just keep pushing up, and Anyways, I just thought I'd show you that with sidereal time, how, sorry, I'm moving all this stuff around here, but I wanted to show you about the sidereal time. So I've given you 2 future dates into the future where we can expect a pullback. I'm just going to make this a little smaller. So around this late February or March here, we'll have some type of a pullback or a sit or move up from there, really, is the next buying level. And then from there, I just indicated to you again that you should be looking at maybe around the early part of May 2nd and 3rd, you know, for something there. So this is how we find all these tops and bottoms and whatnot. So I'll be definitely looking for that. That's definitely what I'll be doing. I hope you enjoyed this. I wanted to make this for just everyone, not just for the private members. Because I want everyone to get some value out of how to use this tool. It's an enigmatic tool. And W.D. Gann, William, he put together these types of tools, and I've expanded upon the portents of it, and I've added a few things, sidereal time and a couple of dual rings and a permanent square, and adding the planets. And by doing so, we can find out where the tops and bottoms are. So let's go take a look at the planetary top and bottom between our square here. I'm just going to bring this into a bit more view here because I want you to note something. And this is really big. So here on our tool, we have our bottom. This I showed you in the beginning is where we made our bottom, right? September 11th, right? That's where it all started. So right now, we are, in fact, just crossed over the 18th degree of March in our ephemeris here. This is my personal ephemeris. So we just crossed over it on the 9th and 10th here of March, and we made top at 72K. And I just wanted to note that on the square 9 here, that's 180 degrees right now, and we've made a top to 72,000. And we're going to go take a look at a weekly count, because let's go square out how many weeks it's been since the bottom. I think you're going to be really surprised. Let's just go take a look. I'm just going to make this a little smaller here. We're kind of done with that for the moment. And I wanted to just give you an idea of what we can do with the power of numbers too. So what are we talking about here? Well, I'm talking about, Mr. Gann talks about squaring the tops and bottoms. So what are we talking about there? Well, this top here at 69,000. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it on this bottom down here, okay? And we're going to count how many weeks, all right? We're looking for 69. I'll bet you there'll be a top there. You can guarantee there probably will be. All right? So we're looking for what? 60 what? 9. There you go. So we squared out our old top, okay, from our old top here. But this one bottomed out at 52. So let's go march forward and see where that 69 would be, right? I mean, this is how I do it. This is how you get to find all these spots where you could possibly find an area where, right there. See that? This big March pullback, 69 weeks to here. And now we're 69 weeks to here. What do you think? Do you think this might be a breakaway or a major resistance here? We've been moving up in this white channel and we've sort of obliterated it a bit here and marched up a bit quicker. So price is definitely ahead of time there. There's no doubt about it. But I did add this breakaway point, this angle here, to capture it. It didn't really capture it that much. It's obviously It's obviously penetrating through this. This could be really a dangerous point because at this point we're not really sure if we're into a sucker rally or if it's really going to unleash. And our indicators here have been topping out, and they've been showing us indicators that a top is more or less close or imminent, and we need to be aware that we're in the early stage, mid stage, or the end here of this. And right now it's getting hard to read because, like this cycle, we're right here doing this. All right, that's exactly what we're doing. We've come up and done the very same activity, absolutely, without a question. And right now we're pushing on our old top. Right now, pushing on this. And I want to talk about these forecasted lines here because I felt that there's a lot of value to learn from that. So we're going to go to the monthly chart here while we check in. We're going to get rid of those indicators and we're going to squash this down. We're going to put our square to the side here while we bring this into view. So what I wanted to show you here with this was, interestingly, I've taken this tool here and I've ran it through all our tops. Right? So every data point here has encompassed a top. So the only one we missed out on was this here, but by the time it broke through, we had our next two connections with our data point. And then, of course, here we are faced with a looming, look that, we can get up to this 100,000 level. Okay, so let's just quickly look at this again so that we can make an assumption here and a determination. So moving this square here, 69 is our current top right now, or basically, 72, but we're here in this vicinity right now, our old tops. And this trajectory here, this forecast, this tool here, let me see if I can find it for you guys because I think it's important you guys go look at these. This one right here, it's called this one. So anyway, we have linked all our data points and we're waiting for this tool to become invalid or for it to confirm and validate the last section of this rising forecasting tool here before we sit on top of this 100,000. And right now this is pointing to around 105, 106. And as you can see, 106 is right there. So we're confronted with that. Now, just because I've put another forecasting line below, because I can hear the rumblings in the back. Okay, so I've added the tool here, and I've linked up 3 data points. Just because we've linked 3 data points at this point doesn't necessarily mean that we will be sailing up to and meeting or achieving this objective of 6 million by May. Now, anything's possible, but I'm not saying that that's going to happen. What I am saying is it is very likely impossible that we could get a blow off into this area, and it could happen in April, and it certainly will be happening around August and September, October and November and December, definitely. All those months. We're going to have some crazy stuff happen here. So we'll be leaning right up against this, or we'll be sitting on it. Either way, we may have a temporary, tipping point where we may make it up to the 200,000 level. However, let's not just 200,000. I mean, it's possible, but let's just see if we're going to do one more spin of 360 degrees up to 106 before we get a major rejection here, and Bitcoin has to figure out what it's going to do again, right? Okay, guys, I thought I'd show you that. My tutorials are getting a little long, but it's hard to pack all this stuff in a very short period of time. So thank you for having me as a guest here today. Hit me up in the comments and go ahead and sign up or hit my PayPal links. All right, guys, peace and love.